Oh, what a game of football. What a game of football. Now that's what I like. Passion, controversy, goals. It had everything. And it all started even before the game, even before the actual game, with Lukaku's comments about being unhappy and about being unsatisfied with the system that Chelsea now plays with, leaving Thomas Tuchel no choice but to leave him out of the match squad. If you had told someone at the start of the season that a very important game, a vital game in January between Chelsea and Liverpool would be played without Lukaku, even though he is not injured, he is fit, he can play, and that he wouldn't be even in the match squad. At the beginning of the season, you would have said that something has to go awfully, awfully wrong for something like this to happen. And indeed, in some way, that is just exactly what happened. And in the same way, if at the beginning of the season you would have been told that in January a draw for Liverpool away at Chelsea would mean that the title hopes for Liverpool are basically over, it would have seemed very, very strange. But the hype before the game wasn't limited to Chelsea. On the Liverpool side, there was no Klopp, and it was announced that because of COVID, Alisson, Matip, and Firmino would also miss the game. And with Thiago injured and Robertson suspended, everybody expected a tough game for Liverpool. And sure enough, the first 8 minutes, it was a very difficult game for Liverpool. Mane got a yellow card, which some consider a bit controversial because some say that it was actually a red card. I don't think it was a red card. I think yellow was justified. Besides, later in the game, a Chelsea player could have been also eliminated for a similar challenge. So, and he wasn't even booked. So the fact that Mane didn't get a red card, I think it was for the best. After Mane's yellow card, Salah had a big chance and he missed. So it was a bit similar to the last game for Liverpool against Leicester, where they also had a lot of chances. Then suddenly, Chelsea were on the counter and Pulisic was one on one with the goalkeeper. He looked at him, tried to take his chance, and he missed. And he missed. The next minute, Liverpool were in attack, and Mane was one on one with the goalkeeper, and he scored. So the first 10 minutes of the game, actually, the whole game was a wonderful game, full of activity. Everybody was running, everybody was trying to do something. It was a wonderful thing to watch. Then Salah scored, and that Liverpool goal, the second goal, oh, it was a thing of beauty. That pass from Trent Arnold, the way Salah controlled the ball, and he knew exactly what he wanted to do, and he scored. It looked so easy when he scored against Mendy, even though Mendy is a very good goalkeeper. So now Liverpool were 2 up, and I felt pretty vindicated because after the loss against Leicester, I said that Mane was in the right position. Mane shouldn't be criticized. The same for Salah, even though he missed the penalty, he shouldn't be criticized. And against Chelsea, we saw Mane again. He was trying to make chances for himself, and when the Chelsea defender made a mistake, he was there, ready to pounce on the chance. Then Salah, okay, he missed the penalty against Leicester, but he's still focused. He's still a player at the top of his game. And so I felt pretty vindicated. And in my head, I already was starting to think about Thomas Tuchel and what went wrong for him at Chelsea, because the results didn't seem to go his way. And then Kovacic scored that wonderful and sincerely ridiculous goal. Now, when Kovacic scored, I was thinking, why was no Liverpool player just outside the box? If you go back and look at the goal, you will see that no Liverpool player was outside the box, which I found it to be a bit strange. Still, it was an amazing goal, and it does not happen on a daily basis. So, question marks can be raised about why no Liverpool player was in that area, but you can still say that it was bad luck because the ball somehow ended up in the net. But then Chelsea scored the second goal. And the second goal, just like when Liverpool went behind in the Leicester game, made me angry. Made me angry because Liverpool were 2-0 up and in control of the game, and now it was 2-2. But again, being a very vain person, I felt vindicated because I said in the past, and I will say it in the future, Trent is not a bad defender, but he has to run a lot, and he is usually close to the opposition's box. And again, at Chelsea's second goal, he was beyond the halfway line. Chelsea got the ball back and quickly launched a counter attack on Trent Arnold's uh, defensive line, or where he should have been if he was just a normal defender. And because of that, and because he is always on the attack, his area needed defending, and that made I don't remember which, either Van Dijk or Konate had to come down in his area, which pushed the other center back lower. So Liverpool's defensive line was not in the best shape, and Chelsea scored. Now, should Arnold be blamed for the goal? I don't think he should be, because Arnold is not a normal defender. We should forget about that idea. He's not a normal defender. He needs to attack. And in this game, we saw both sides pretty obviously. He creates a lot of chances. You saw he created that pass for Salah. And he created a second chance for Salah, almost identical to the one he scored. So Arnold needs to stay in the attack. Now, if Arnold is in the attack and he can't move quickly enough in his position, then the solution to the problem is for one midfielder to fall back, either a central defensive midfielder to fall back between the center defenders, and one of the center defenders to move in Trent's position so he can track the attacking player on that side, or a midfielder, a white midfielder, to fall back on the flank. But I think the best solution would be for a CDM to fall back between Matip and Konate, and then the defensive position can keep the perfect shape to deal with any attacks. So I think the final result was great news for Pep Guardiola. I think that even before the final whistle, he was putting whiskey in a glass and lighting up that cigar of his, and he was already celebrating because it was the perfect result for him.